Hello and welcome back to the channel, and before we get started, let me just say Skypea is Hilarious will be released this week. November 17th is when Skypea is Hilarious will be put out on the channel, so mark your calendars, save the date, and most importantly, stop asking me about it, because I am working on it, Sharon.
I'm working on it, Sharon!
But seriously, thank you guys for being patient. If you follow my personal life at all, you'll know how hectic things have been. I'm still trying to get back on schedule and make sure that I get these videos out for you guys. But while I'm doing that, I just wanted to hop on here, talk with you guys for a second, and tell you about the hilarious story of why I wasn't at the Reverie this year. It's a very, very funny and tragic story because going to the Reverie was one of the things that I said I really wanted to do within a year of starting my YouTube channel. And to have been invited like a couple of months into my YouTube journey, it really meant the world to me. So you can understand that not getting to go was its own type of soul crushing for me. But when you hear the story, you'll understand that there really was no way that I could have avoided what happened, and just things happen. We'll get them next year. So allow me to paint the picture for you, all right? Now, for those of you that don't know, the Reverie is where a bunch of One Piece YouTubers get together every year and they pretty much just argue. It's awesome. Reverie is also like an in-world thing in One Piece that holds significance because it's all of the world leaders getting together, and so like content creators, they get together and it's just a really fun time, okay? And I really wanted to be a part of it. So you can imagine how excited I was when the host of this year's Reverie, King Recon, reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be a part of it. Now this was the night before and I'd never met King Recon before, which by the way, tiny aside, he's an amazing content creator and an even more amazing person. I don't know if you guys follow him, but you absolutely should. So he asked me if I would like to be a part of the Reverie, okay? And of course I say, yeah, of course I want to be a part of the Reverie. So he tells me the time slots that they have open, and they slated me for a later time in the day. I think it was like 5 p.m. Shoots me the Discord and tells me to hit him up on there and says he can't wait to see me there. So I am ecstatic, okay? Again, I'm very excited. This is a part of the dream that I had for having my One Piece YouTube at all. At this point in time, I was only doing chapter reviews and hilarious videos, so my channel was just strictly One Piece, and I was loving every minute of it. The thing is, though, King Recon hit me up like literally one day before, okay? And so I had already slotted this day for a day for me to expand my consciousness. If you know what I'm saying. You probably don't know what that means. I picked up some gas station magic mushrooms and I figured I'd try it. Before you go calling me a degenerate or some wacky, crazy crackhead that's only looking to have fun, I'd never tried regular mushrooms like the synthetic mushrooms or the mushrooms that they just make in the store. And I didn't really get them from a gas station, although to be honest, I may as well have. But yeah, these were the legal mushrooms. I was reading all of the studies about how psilocybin is good for depression, anxiety, just, you know, all the stuff that people who love tripping, we read it constantly to reassure ourselves that, you know, yeah, we have to do this. We need to do this. It's not just for the good time. We're gonna find out who we are. So I'd slotted it for the day. And remember, these are just store-bought mushrooms. So I'm just like, all right, well, I mean, I did get invited to the Reverie, but I don't have another free day to do this. I had a bunch of sponsors I had to make videos for, and I was still editing one video. So I literally only had the slot that I had open for that day to do mushrooms, and like that was it. That was the only chance I was gonna get for like another 3 weeks. So I was like, you know, if I do them early enough, I'm sure I'll be at least coming down, you know, maybe peaking at around 5 p.m. when I'm supposed to get on, but that could be hilarious too. I'm not above tripping balls and showing up to the Reverie with huge pupils asking everybody, what's going on? I think Shanks can beat Mihawk, you know? Like, I'm not above doing that. I think that could have been funny in its own way, and I kind of wish it could have happened that way. Nonetheless, okay, everyone who knows when you're in this position, you just gotta do the mushrooms. You can't think about it too much because then that's when stuff goes wrong. So I take the mushrooms. This is around, I don't know, I think it's it was like noon. Let's say I take the mushrooms at noon. So I take the mushroom gummies, all right? I just want to see if we're cooking with lead-based paint, you know? I mean, I was really skeptical, like there's no way these even work, but let's just try them out. And I eat them and I'm just kind of waiting for them to kick in. Don't feel anything for a while, okay? So this is when I take my dog out. Let's say that this is around 1 o'clock, all right? I've taken the mushrooms like an hour ago. I take my dog outside so that he can pee, and And while I'm looking at the sky and everything, I'm just trying to wait to see if something's happening. I'm just looking all around. My dog pees, but my dog's so old and cranky, he doesn't pay attention to his surroundings. So he steps into an anthill and then he starts peeing. So I realized this just a little bit too late, you know, because I'm looking around at nature and everything, just trying to see when the mushrooms are gonna kick in. So ants are just crawling all over my dog. I realize it maybe 5 seconds later. So of course I jump into action. I snatch my dog up. I rip all of the ants off of his legs, just like one by one, rush him back inside, and I make sure that he's okay. He seems fine. A couple of ants have bit me, but I don't care about that. I am incredibly angry because how dare these ants try to do that to my dog, my good time boy. So it's not over for me, all right? I go back out there and I find the anthill that my dog stepped in and I just eradicate it. You know, like when we were kids and we just go outside and try to find the most creative ways to get rid of anthills. That was me, but as a 28-year-old man. Oh, wait, am I 29? 29. Holy shit, I'm almost 30. So anyway, I'm out there, I'm beating up this anthill, and I swear it had to have at least been 30 minutes. I'm going in on this anthill. Like, I'm doing everything. I find like this metal rod in the yard for some reason, and I'm just beating this anthill to death. I'm trying to kill as many ants as possible. I get the water hose, I'm doing everything in there. It's at one point I get so frustrated, I start fist fighting the anthill. Like, I'm literally punching the anthill. Like what Madara did to the Ninja Alliance, that was what I did to those ants. Nothing but hands. What Sukuna did to Jogo, that was me. Nothing but hands. And the fist fight goes on for, it had to have been like another 15 minutes at least. I mean, I am winded, I'm tired. I take my shirt off because, you know, it's hot at this point. I think this was around like July. It was like the summertime. It was really hot outside, but I was really dedicated to the eradication of all of these ants. I move on from that anthill to another anthill. I don't know if all of them are eradicated or not, so I come back to them a couple of times. So I want you guys to picture this, okay? Imagine you're one of my neighbors, all right? You walk outside to check your mail, it's the middle of the day, and I'm just outside shirtless, beating up my lawn for just, from your eyes, assumedly no reason at all. I'm pretty sure I even waved at a couple of neighbors while I was out there. I did not see the lunacy in what I was doing at all. These ants just had to go. So in my head, I have just delivered an ass whooping of 1,000 years to these ants. So I go back into my house, I make sure my dog is okay again, and then I get right back to editing. While I'm editing, I'm messing around on my keyboard. I notice that my hands feel kind of funny, okay? I don't really know what that's about, and so I'm just pushing it out of my head. Looking back on this, there's a lot of things that I should have taken note of. But I don't think anything of it. I'm just like, that's weird. My hands feel weird. I'm sure that has nothing to do with how I was just in a fist fight with 2 million ants. So let's say that now it's around 3 o'clock, okay? I've reached a stopping point in my editing process, and I walk out to my kitchen to get a snack. And it's at this point I look down at my hand and I notice it is incredibly swollen. I've just got one diabetes hand for seemingly no reason at all. And this has never happened to me before. I start wondering, oh my God, did the mushrooms do this to me? So I go down that line of thought for like at least like a 5 or 10 minutes until eventually I was like, that doesn't make any sense. This must be from the ants. I got bit by like 700 of them earlier. So this is when I start thinking about it. Like, you know, I don't know how often I was ever bitten by ants as a child or as an adult. So I was like, you know, I guess I could be allergic. That could be a thing. And right as I think that, I can feel my throat starting to get a little bit scratchy, and I swear, like 20 minutes after that, it kind of felt like my throat was closing a little bit. So put yourself in my shoes, you know, this might be a serious situation. I don't know if I'm allergic. I definitely had a fever though, but I just didn't know. I didn't know. I kept thinking like, could this be because of the mushrooms? I did get them from a gas station pretty much, or is this because of the ants? So what do you guys think I did in this situation that could perhaps be very serious very soon? Did I call a medical professional? Did I call someone who could take me to a medical professional because I clearly was not in a safe state of mind? No, I didn't do any of that. Instead, what I did was I looked online for the different strains of ants and what the different venom that they possess and what theoretically 700 ant bites from these types of venoms would do to a person. I literally just take it all on myself. It gets to a point, and I'm still shirtless, by the way. I go outside and I'm army crawling around my yard. I'm just looking for ants to capture and I guess interrogate. I don't know, I think in my mind, I thought that if I could figure out what type of ant it was that bit me so many times, I could perhaps figure out an antidote. I could synthesize an antidote, or at the very least look on Google for what remedies work best for getting the swelling down or stopping your throat from closing. Nowhere in my mind did I consider Benadryl, any other over-the-counter allergy medications. No, I went straight to we must capture and interrogate the ants because they are the only people that can stop this infection from spreading. And I certainly don't know how to synthesize an ant antidote from ant venom in my front yard. I don't know how to do any of that, but I was trying my damnedest. So keep in mind, at this point, it's probably like 4:15. I've got to be on in the Reverie in like a couple minutes. Now, luckily, I was texting one of my friends when this was going on, so she pulls up to the house. She needed to get something from me or something, or maybe I agreed to hang out with her before I foolishly took these gas station mushrooms. I don't remember. All I know is that while I'm army crawling in the yard looking for ants to interrogate and or synthesize antidotes from their venom, she pulls into the yard and she sees me just shirtless, beating up ant hills and just digging through the dirt, clearly disheveled and on mushrooms. She gets out of her car and she's like, what are you doing? I foolishly try to explain the situation, and thankfully she's smarter than that. She doesn't even try to listen. She just gets me back in the house, puts a shirt on me, she lays me down, and I start thinking like, okay, this is not the best way these things could have happened, okay? I've got to be on the Reverie in like 30 minutes. I need to reach out to King Recon, but this is fine, at least she's here with me now. So one regular person should surely be able to turn the tides of this very weird and hilarious evening. And right as I think that, guys, like literally as soon as that thought has left my mind, I look over to her. She is eating the rest of the gas station mushrooms. I go, oh no, why did you do that? And she's dead ass she's just like, I didn't come over here just so I can babysit you. That's lame as hell. She dead ass hit me with the, oh, I'm leaving with something. Okay, Denzel, all right, fine. So she takes the rest of the mushrooms, and I am panicking so fast now. I'm just like, now we're both useless. Why would you do that? So, I think, this still might be fine, okay? The magic mushrooms should at least maybe kick in at the very least 30 minutes or to an hour for her later. If she just gets me set up and make sure the camera's looking at me, maybe I can take it from there. So I start telling her what to do with the camera and things like that. I don't know what it is with her. I don't know if it's because she weighed less than me or what. I don't know what it is, but they hit her pretty much immediately. She was out of the picture pretty much immediately, and I swear within minutes, to me it felt like literally 2 minutes, she was useless. So we're both just sitting, laying on the bed, looking at the computer. Tears are rolling down my eyes as I watch all of these people in the One Piece community talk about things that they love, and I'm agreeing or disagreeing, but I just want to be a part of the argument, but I can't. It's like we're both trapped in a domain expansion. We're just looking through the void like, oh my god, someone help! King Recon! Please, I don't want to be here! I want to be in there with you guys! Jesus. And it was a hilarious Reverie. Like, I was still coherent enough to laugh at all of the things everybody was saying. I'm pretty sure... I want to say Jay, nope, it's gone. I don't remember anything that anybody said, but I know I was laughing. But I do remember at one point, the folks from that One Piece talk, they're awesome too. They came on and they were talking and I was like, oh no, another group of people that I've conversed with and I hope desperately to meet and do content with. Like, I could be talking with them right now. And so this is when I get my second wind. I'm like, you know what? Mushrooms or not, I'm going to the Reverie. All right, so I go into the bathroom to fix myself. I say, this is it. This is the turning point. I turn to my friend, and she is deceased. She has passed away. She is in a different realm entirely, because that's what it's like whenever you do mushrooms. If you layer them on top of them, if one person takes them like hours before, you're in like just different worlds. Like, you might meet up on the journey eventually, but like I was pretty much over the mountain, or at the very least I was somewhere where the ants were also on that mountain, because they were still there. My hand still was hurt. Like, I wish I could imitate it. You guys ever seen The Nutty Professor? My hand looked like the Nutty Professor. Like, it was hilarious. Very terrifying though, because again, my throat was still a little bit scratchy. But yeah, I figure, that's fine. I'm gonna take some more Benadryl, because my friend also brought Benadryl, thankfully. She's probably the only reason I survived that encounter. Now that I think about it, that is actually, that is hilarious, but God, I gotta be more careful. Anyway, I'm psyched, I'm pumped, and I'm ready to jump in and talk with people, and I sit down at the computer, and I don't know how to work it. I don't know what to do there. It was worse being in front of it, to be honest. It was very intimidating. I looked to my friend, again, she was useless. So I decide, you know what, okay, I'm gonna splash some water on my face and I'm gonna come back in here and it's gonna be fine. So I go into the bathroom, I splash some water on my face, and I swear to God, I walked out of there and it was like the bathroom was the hyperbolic time chamber. Like, it was dark outside when I came out of the restroom. It was just like, like the Reverie wasn't over, but God, it might as well have been. It was so soul crushing. To this day, I don't know what happened, honestly, in that bathroom, but that's what it's like. You know, people who have been through this, you know, one of the cardinal rules, you don't look in the mirror and you don't trust time because it doesn't exist. That is exactly what happened. So I didn't get to go to the Reverie. I was soul crushed. And then a couple of days later, I did a stream with one of my best buddies, Jim, who's been on this channel before, and I've been on a couple of his streams. So we do a stream together and we start talking with some of his viewers. And that's when I learned something really interesting. The people were starting to joke that I should get a pet anteater. And I was 100%, I wasn't humoring it. Like I was Googling how much I could pay to own a pet anteater because he sounds awesome. I would just set him free, and what happened with my dog would never happen again. What happened with my hand would never happen again because I got Tito walking around the yard just eating ants for fun. And that's when somebody on stream let me know another really interesting fact. Did you guys know anteaters can beat jaguars in a straight up just 1v1? I'm gonna Google that again because that doesn't sound right at all. Jaguar and giant anteater standoff ends with a twist. Giant anteater face off. So they regularly run the ones with jaguars. So I'm fired up. When I learned this, I was on Amazon looking for pet anteaters because you guys know how cool that would be. You have an anteater that definitely protects your yard from ants. But also as a bonus, in case, let's say you live in Florida, if a jaguar pulls up in your yard, Tito's gonna be behind the fence begging that jaguar to hop over. He's begging that jaguar to run the ones. I just really want that to happen so bad. Just to see a jaguar and an anteater go at it and the anteater to reliably come out on top. Like they do it for fun apparently. I'm still blown away by that fact. But anyway, that day my life was changed, not because of the magic mushrooms, although not because of the magic mushrooms. My day mainly changed because I realized the value of anteaters, and I realized I had to own one, either as a prank, as a gag, even if it's just for a video that we do on the channel. I really want to see an anteater and a jaguar run the ones because it's insane. I never knew that. But that's that story. You guys were asking me to tell it when we did a stream a while back, which, by the way, our streams aren't there yet, but stay tuned. I promise they will be. We'll be doing podcasts and everything like that. Like I said, Skype is hilarious will be November 17th, so that's going to be this week, so keep a lookout for that. Also, keep a lookout for some surprises on the channel. Maybe we're starting a new series on the channel. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just a guy making the videos. I don't know nothing. We are also doing a Mugi Goof Pirate 100,000 subscriber party where you guys will get to meet all of the members of my crew. It's gonna be I hired a cameraman to do that, so like I think I suck at editing. I already have one of my friends helping me with the editing process. He's already better at it than me, or maybe he always was. It doesn't matter. Love you, Ken. But these guys, they're amazing, and they're gonna be taking care of it, so the video is gonna be amazing. But the most important part is that it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So that's how I want to end the video. Okay, thank you so much for getting us this close to 100K. I'll see you in Skype is hilarious, but I hope to also see you in the 100K subscriber thank you video, because that is going to be a blast. We're gonna be filming that this week on the 18th, and I just can't wait. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being interested in another Mugi Goof Storytime special, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.